So we've got very excited to have Michigan commit, very recent commit, Bear McWhorter, 4-star offensive tackle, on the show. Bear, go blue, and welcome to Michigan. Very excited that you're
yes,
you've
sir.
committed.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we're like we're talking about behind the scenes here. We are thrilled to have you part of the class. You fit the mold. You have the Michigan DNA already in you with your play style and your approach to the game. So yeah, man. I mean, so how about this? Before we get into our questions and stuff, let the fan base kind of know about you a little bit. Tell us about Bear McWhorter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from Kingston, Georgia. Lived here my whole life. Grew up playing football. And was blessed to receive some scholarship offers pretty early on. Got a really early jump in my recruiting process, and figured things out, and this is where I am at today.
Absolutely. So what made you get into football, though? How'd you get interested in that?
I was kind of born into it. My dad played college ball at Furman. It's an FCS spot in South Carolina. And, I started playing when I was 4 years old, I think. And I always actually played up a grade level because I had all my friends, and my cousin was a year older than me. And so I was 6 years old playing 8U football, and all my other kids my age were playing down 6U. And then when I was 8, I was playing 10U. And so I would say that kind of threw me into the fire a little bit. I definitely struggled a lot through that, but I think that's what made me who I am today. Just once I finally got to middle school and started playing my grade level, I was like, well, this is kind of easy compared to what I've been doing. And I think that just kept translating through high school and everything. And I fell in love with football, and there's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
Love it. Yeah. Just came naturally to you. You just picked it up a lot easier than other sports.
Yes, sir.
Nice. So whether it's football or others, every athlete has influences in their lives, right? So who are some of the people that you looked up to for inspiration growing up?
Just as a football fan, watching Lamar Jackson at Louisville, that was probably what really got me into watching football and getting to actually understand the game. And there's a few guys like Saquon Barkley when he was at Penn State is another one. Growing up a Bama fan, just a ton of those guys like Minka Fitzpatrick, Mari Cooper, a lot of offense linemen they've had. I would say those are the guys that I was able to sit down on the couch and watch football and be like, man, this is pretty cool. And that's what made me want to keep going and take it to the next level and get on that stage one day.
Absolutely. Was there an offensive lineman you ever molded your game after, or you thought was, you were the way they played?
There's a few. One that I really like is Trent Williams, and he's one. I think this is more of an offensive line thing, but people know you can't really model your game after what he does because he's just that much different. Yeah. But just the intensity he plays with and the nastiness he brings, that's just what I want to bring to the table every play.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that nastiness that you bring. For the fans who don't know you, they haven't watched your film yet, they're not familiar with your play style. Let them know what they can expect from you and what you bring to the field, man.
I think the biggest thing is just you can pick out a random play out of any game, and it's all going to look the same. I put together my highlight tape and everything, but those are just the clips that I feel like stuck out the very most. I think you look at any single play, I'm going to be blocking through the whistle. I'm going to be doing everything I can to put a dude in the ground.
There it is right there.
That's just how I play football. Exactly.
Yeah. One thing that I noticed with your film, you have a 10.5-minute highlight tape, man.
Yes, sir.
Where when you look at some of these prospects, sometimes it's 3 minutes, maybe 4. And then you ask yourself, well, where's the rest of it, right? What else is going on? So when you have a player of your caliber that has 10 minutes of highlight film, and like you even said, it's not even everything. It's just what you kind of grab.
Mm-hmm.
You're dominating. You were just dominating the competition. And you can see it with one of the things I loved about your film, sometimes you're blocking your guy further than where the running back gets.
Yes,
you're
sir.
literally grabbing your guy 10, 15 yards, and the running back's 2 yards behind you. So, yeah, I mean, the physical place, this is smash football. This is Shromore football. You will blend and fit in very well with our culture. I mean, and
yes, sir.
Listen, man, you bring this mentality to Columbus, you're going to get a lot of victories down there, man. You're going to get a lot 100%. Of victories in that game.
Yes,
Hell, I'll be honest, between us and our fans, they can't handle it, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Um,
smash mentality, right? You're
Yes, sir.
coming at a great time, and obviously with Bryce Underwood, with some of the talent that's coming in alongside you, they're going to need the protection. They're going to need somebody who can win the matchups up front, and I
Mhm.
feel like that's why they brought you on, and I think that's really exciting. And TJ mentioned the culture, right? And so you posted this today
Yes, sir.
on Instagram about the legacy of excellence for offensive linemen, with some of the most famous offensive linemen that are posted here. And so, with that said, obviously your name is Bear, right?
Yes, sir.
And so there's some inspiration there in the Alabama side of things, right? And
Yes,
so
sir.
a lot of us, and I'll say I was one, and TJ can speak for himself. But with that and some of the crystal balls, we were like, hey, he might be headed the other way. But something inspired you to decide to commit to the legacy of excellence at Michigan. So walk us through just what inspired you to pick Michigan, and maybe what some of the recruiting journey was like, to really open your eyes and be like, oh wow, this could actually be a really good option for me.
Mhm. I think, like, honestly, I really knew that Michigan was where I needed to be at after I came up and visited in January. Um, that Friday night, I got to spend the whole night with a bunch of the mid-year guys, and we were just sitting around. We had pizza, and then we went over to the hockey game. We were all just hanging out. And then the next morning, we got to watch them lift, and just seeing the culture and how much they care about each other and the intensity in the lift and everything. Like, I've never seen a culture like that before, and it was a perfect fit for me and somewhere that I want to be at every single day and go to work with those guys every day.
so my question for you is, when did you know Michigan? Over, like, when did that, like, when were you, like, whether you were like laying in bed or just thinking about it over time, when were you like, all right, Michigan's home? Like, when did that hit you?
I think honestly, like that Saturday night of that visit, when I got back to the hotel room and I laid down and I was just thinking about everything, I was like, I can't say no to this.
Yeah.
And I think I took a couple weeks, had one or two more visits after that, and then sat down at the beginning of February. And I would say there were some, like, I was being a little hesitant, I guess, just worried that I need to think it out a little more. And then just the more I prayed about it, and the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, this is right. This is where I need to be at.
Yeah, one of the things you shared with us behind the scenes is you were kind of ready to get the recruiting process over with. I mean, so, a lot of us, we don't get the opportunity to be a blue chip athlete, or, a bunch of scholarships, a bunch of teams courting us. What is that process like? Is it tiring? Is it stressful? Let the fan base kind of know what that's like for a young athlete like yourself.
Yeah, it's a very crazy process. And for me, like, I started taking visits the spring of my 8th grade year and got my first offer from Penn State the day after my very first varsity start, my freshman year. And so I got started really early. And, like, obviously, coaches aren't supposed to call you until whenever that date is, the summer. I mean, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but coaches don't follow that rule.
Yeah.
Uh, and
No way.
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
I don't
We're
believe it.
shocked. We're so shocked right now. Yeah.
But I would say when that date came around and they were able to call me and text me, I get picked up a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and it was just got really, really crazy. Like through the season, I think after my first few junior games, coaches watched my tape and my phone started really blowing up. And then like around January, when all the coaches were coming through and everything, and I was letting people know I was getting ready to make a decision, like it started really amping up. And I think by a few weeks before my actual commitment date, I was like, yeah, I'm tired of this. Like I was ready to be a kid again.
Yeah.
And now I have to answer 4 or 5 phone calls a night and spend my entire day responding to text messages and everything. And wanted to have like my spring and summer where I didn't have to take visits the whole time. And I was actually able to go do stuff and spend time with family and everything like that.
Definitely makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Nice. So with that said, we do have one. I think this is great. So Elisha, who's a regular here
Shout out
at Michigan Wolverines Live, Boog from Open Season, 900-pound grizzly bear. is what Elisha is comparing you to. So
That's awesome.
Hey, that's what it, because on 247 it was what 293. So I don't know about 900, but you're definitely gonna win some battles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about 305 right now. 247 has updated me in a minute, but
Yeah,
that's
you know,
fair.
they're slacking. They're slacking.
Slacking.
So,
Very cool.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So, so what's your relationship going with Michigan coaching staff? Like, what coaches do you feel you have the best relationship with?
Oh, that's great. I mean, I feel like I have an amazing relationship with so many of those guys. Like Coach Newsom, obviously, I probably talk to him almost every day on the phone, and it's just incredible. Like, I feel like I can go to him about anything and just talk to him like a normal person, not like he's a coach that's relying on me to save his job and I'm a player relying on him to save my job. Like, it feels like we truly care about each other, and it's really special, I think. But there's a lot of other guys. I would say Jack Dunaway is a big one. Big reason I even committed to Michigan, just because he's been so honest with me throughout this whole process, and like he's just someone I really respect throughout everything. Because you go through this process, and there's a lot of people that just tell you things and tell you stuff to make you feel good and everything. But he's one of the most honest people that I've ever talked to throughout it, and I mean that's a really great relationship I have. And then obviously Coach Moore is a great one. I just love what he does with offensive line, and just spoke with him earlier today, actually. He's just calling, checking up on me, everything like that. He truly cares about his players.
That's awesome.
Cool. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's that's what that's always something we've heard, right,
Mhm.
from some of these interviews that we've done is more than anything else the people, right,
Yes,
and
sir.
the staff, and I love the fact that he's been just checking up and seeing how you're doing and all that, because that can really go a long way.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
So we talked about staff and we've talked about some influences, but who are maybe some of the players or some of the other players that that you are kind of resonating with and connecting with at Michigan that you've maybe talked to so far?
A big one is Avery Gash, and he's another big reason I even committed, just because that visit, that Friday night, just talking to him so much and hanging out with him, like it literally feels like we're the exact same person, like same hobbies, think the same way, play the same way, everything like that. But he's not the only one. Like Eli Owens, the tight end, is another one. We hung out with him. He's really, really cool.
Yeah, he's a big recruit.
Yes, sir. And there's a lot of other ones. I mean, it's a team full of great guys and guys that I want to be around.
Definitely.
Nice.
So, obviously it's still early in the recruiting process. It's only early March. Who are some of the guys that you're kind of recruiting on the side or trying to get to Michigan?
There's a decent amount. Like Coach Newsom actually sent me probably 8 or 9 phone numbers today that I've been hitting up.
Nice.
So I put on my recruiting cap. A few of them, like obviously I know Jackson Cantwell. We're trying to get him. Felix Ojo's another one we really want. And then interior wise, Darius Gray and Brett Collegier are two of my guys that I've gotten to know them really well through this process. I like them a lot, and I'd love to get them out to Ann Arbor.
Very nice.
That is awesome. They're getting you involved early, which is always great. So this actually is a great starter question here. So Elisha is asking, and I think this relates to our next question, but Elisha is asking, throwing another super chat here. And this is, I'd say this would count as a goal. So how many Buckeyes are you planning to permanently plant and to become a yard line on the field?
As many as possible. I mean, that's the goal. Woo! Every single play, the goal is to do that.
There we go. There is no limit.
The limit does not exist.
Exactly.
Ryan Hall, nice. Just saying, Bear with the 50 burger. That is so cool. We got Ryan here, major contributor. Well, that's one goal. We know that goal with the Buckeyes. But in general, what are some of maybe your ultimate goals that you'd like to accomplish at the University of Michigan?
We're gonna win a national championship. That's number one. That's the standard in Ann Arbor, and that's my goal, is to bring a national championship to Michigan. Another big one was the Joe Moore Award. Whenever I was a freshman in high school, I came up and visited Michigan for the first time, and that was the trophy sitting in their weight room. It was the coolest trophy I've ever seen. So that was my goal wherever I go to college is national championship and Joe Moore Award. But I think Michigan, that's the standard, and anything less than that will be a disappointment and a failure on my part.
Absolutely. And you know what I loved is we're going to try. We are going to win a national championship. I love that. Without question, the standard of Michigan. Sharon Moore setting that standard. We talked about that a lot. Very excited for that. So we do have a final thoughts question here, Bear, but I wanted to ask you a question. Did you see the Michigan State scrum over the weekend?
I did not see it. I saw a few clips and stuff on Twitter, but I didn't see it live or anything.
Well, yeah, fair enough. So, just wanted to let you know the rivalries are pretty intense here in Michigan. That's one of the things, you're going to get into. You just wanted to see if you noticed that at all. But Bear, what else would you like to share to the Michigan community? What else would you like to let them know about you? And then is there any charities you would like to promote for everybody?
That's what I was going to say. I think I really want everyone to know about my adoption foundation. I've got 2 younger sisters that we've adopted, and that just kind of changed my whole perspective on life. Like, we adopted them when I was a lot younger. And, going through this football process, me and my dad had always talked about like doing something bigger than myself, or just trying to make more of just being a good football player. And adoption is something that just always been big to me. And so I've actually opened up a nonprofit organization that there's the shirts. You can go buy shirts, and you can donate money, and all of that goes directly to the foundation. And it's opened up for families that want to adopt, but just might not be financially able to. They can come to us. We can help them out in that department. Just because it's a big thing to me, and I think more people need to be aware of it. And I think if you want to adopt someone and help someone out, money should never be the issue. So this is something that I've put in a lot of work in and had a lot of great people helping me. And it's just something I'd like people to know about. Yeah,
definitely. So community, you heard it. Check out the Brother Bear Foundation. Let's support it. Let's show our love to it. And man, the story's amazing, by the way. So really happy to help you out with that. And again, we've already told you, you have an extended invitation. You ever want to promote this? You have any, or if you're doing any, promotional work, charity work, you let us know. We'll help you out with that to the best of our ability.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, Bear. We'll continue encouraging people through the show to follow you on X, to hit up the foundation and everything else, and just know you're always welcome back. You're a friend of the program now, and we're really glad you could make some time for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Hold on, Bear. We got one more super chat.
Oh,
I guess.
So we got Russell here.
Russell, yeah, we got it. So we kind of touched on this with Sharon Moore, checking in the other day, but Russell is asking, do you like a lot of contact from the coaches, or can it be too much sometimes?
It is a lot, but I say I can't complain because it's what I dreamed of being in this position my entire life and what I've been working for. So I would say through January and February, there was a couple of days where I wanted to throw my phone across the room and never pick it up again. But I can't complain just because I know how lucky and blessed I am to be in the situation, and this is what I've always wanted.
Absolutely. And John, I want to share. I'm going to share his Twitter here, so everybody.
Yeah.
So here's his Twitter, guys. Give him a follow. Let's support our guy here. He's one of us. So, he's got the foundation here as well. You guys want to check it out? But yeah, man. Happy to have you on the show, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
All right, Bear. Have a good one, buddy.
All right. Go Blue, Bear.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.